Just so you know, this is silly town.
Get there, so hello. Welcome to another week of whatever the fuck is going on.
But that should have been the podcast name. What the fuck is going on?
I mean, yeah. Ugh.
You want to say hello? If not, go away. No, Coda's not going to say hello right now. Just being me already.
But yeah, so I have like all the information of like where it's at and like what time the show starts. But I feel like I need to be there before the show starts for obvious reasons. But I honestly, I really need to just message my friend and ask so I know what time I have to leave because I have to drive like an hour to get there.
Yeah, we're
So
talking about Fig's first shoot of the year. By the way, we're continuing our
oh
conversation.
yeah. Yeah, it's my first shoot of the year tonight. Yay! And by the time this comes out, it'll have been like 2 weeks ago. So yay!
Yes, for anyone that hasn't picked up on this, we hop on and probably talk for about 15 minutes before we remember to hit record, and then just do it at randoms.
Yeah. Last week was actually hilarious. We probably could have done 2 episodes with what we were after we stopped recording. We
I know. Oh my god.
Sat there talking for another hour and a half. Like, that was nice though.
What is this?
But yeah, first show of the year. My friend is DJing. I'm going to take pictures. Hopefully, meet some new people. I am both extremely excited and extremely nervous. Because it occurred to me that all the other shows that I've shot so far have just been, I bought a ticket and I happened to be able to secure a spot at Barricade with my point and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this is, there's actually pressure to perform well.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, I'm overthinking it because, like, I know I'm good at it. It's one of the few things in life that I've always been good at. And I take pride in that. But I don't know. It's just the idea of having my work be perceived on that level is just a little nerve-wracking, especially with it being so early on and me getting back into this.
You know what, though? The good news is there's only one first time for that. Now it'll be like, bigger shows, but once you get this out of your system, you will have... Can you get in here? Sorry. Keep talking. I need to not be by himself.
Oh, gross. I swear to God, if I don't stop getting messages, hey, use our AI. No. Quite literally never.
I hate that they made my favorite sarcastic star emoji like the official AI emoji now. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's like my favorite, like, I'm either being sarcastic or making jokes about my own mental illness emoji, and like now it's kind of ruined. I'm still gonna use it because unless it like starts to intentionally trigger. Sorry, that was loud, right? Unless it starts to like intentionally trigger like an AI starting somewhere, like if they use it as like a trigger, then I'll stop. But like that's one of my favorite emojis.
Yeah, no, I'm bummed about that. They're quite literally ruining fucking everything with AI, and like the fact that we're seeing some of the direct results of just how much it's affecting things right now with like the fires in California and shit, and like how bad things have gotten because of the lack of water because it's being pumped through the fucking computers because people can't, write their own grocery lists and have to chat GPT it.
That's my problem, right? Like with the work that I do, there's absolutely like tons of benefits for it that I advocate for. But then like with anything, we take everything way too far. Like we can't just use it for stuff that we actually like research, right? Or like medical research, like to cure fucking diseases that are killing people. Like we have to use it for everything. And then I'm like, we've gone too far already. And it's still...
But I feel like it's not even intelligent enough to do that correctly now. Like if you the shit that like the technology that they would use for that is the same shit that it's like Like when you Google something and it's like, oh yes, you definitely are okay if you drink a little bit of bleach. Like that's the same fucking that's the same that's the same technology they'd be using to do the medical research. Like this no, it's so bad. Like that's why we have people who are trained to do those things, you
Well,
know?
there's like an element of like checks and balances with that, but you can't advance that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say you can't. My assumption is you can't advance that technology when you're too busy focusing on like how can I make a picture of a person that has horse legs without
Yeah.
having any artistic ability. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be a
Uh,
little more focused. I would like it to be a little bit more focused. Like it's doing good things in the coaching field. Um, I don't know. I worry about it going too far, but right now it's like doing some good things, but I don't know.
I feel like it's taking away from the humanness of either creating or interacting or like advancing our communities.
Mm.
And that's just like the absolute bare minimum of the damage that it's doing. Like obviously
Yeah.
the larger scale effects of it are so much fucking worse. But I don't know. I've taken to just talking shit on everyone that uses it for anything. Like anytime I see like a fucking tweet that's like I if I find out that you use Chat GPT for like anything or whatever, I lose so much respect for you. Or like I don't know, like if you are using it to create art, which is not even a valid statement. It's not creating art. You're stealing from artists who have already created. I honestly I think you're a loser. I'm just I'm just gonna start calling people fucking losers for AI creating images or dumbing down books instead of just fucking read the book. That's why it was written that way. Like,
It
create a
does
couple
make me
more wrinkles
sad.
in your fucking brain, please.
It does make me really sad when people don't read books anymore and they just do like the AI summary. Like
Right.
it's the integrating like I get it that people don't like to read. That's fine. Like if you don't like to read, don't read a book. You know what I mean? Like listen to an
Yeah.
audiobook, get or find some but like when you try to take shortcuts with books, like they're written so that you can properly integrate the information, especially if it's an informative book. Like I get it, fiction is fiction, but like you're supposed to read the whole thing because there's like stories that bring the research and stuff to life, and then there's like tips,
Yeah.
and then I don't know. I take notes. Like all my books have like I don't know. I'm not even books that don't make sense. Like I'm reading Rick Rubin's book again for like the second or third time, and it's the first time I'm actually taking notes in it. I'm just like
Yeah.
tabs on every page. I don't know. A book is an experience.
Right. And like that's something that like I grew up having value around. Like everyone in my house has always been huge readers. Like there's always been stacks of books fucking everywhere. Um and like as I got older, I got a little bit more into some of like the nonfiction stuff. But like even the fiction stuff has a fucking point. Like when I was little, or not like little, but I think when I was almost out of middle school is when I read Animal Farm for the first time. Yes,
Mhm.
that's a fucking fiction book. But the real like historical implications of why that book was fucking written is so valuable. And obviously I think that probably contributed to my, you know, political shift that I had. But like again, it's because I read it 5 fucking times before I was a freshman until I like fully understood what was happening and then, started doing like the actual historical research on like why it was written and stuff. Like it's that stuff is so important to like your growth, whether it be in society or just like for you as a person. Like that I don't know, it's so important and it's so valuable and I hate that people are just trashing it. Like it's okay to not understand stuff. Like there's resources out there to help you understand it, but making the thing you don't understand stupid so that you can understand it does not help you grow at all as a person.
There's like or there's a loss of focus. I think on like growing as like as you were talking about Animal Farm, and I'm thinking about like 1984 and The Giver and whatnot. And I'm like, what does the reading curriculum like look like at schools right now? Is there even a reading curriculum? You know what I mean? Like
Oh God. I don't even know because like my kids are young enough that they don't really have that yet. Like they go to the library all the time and they're constantly talking about books. Like Freya's reading chapter books and shit right now. Um, because like I refuse to let my kids not end up reading to the degree that I always have. Um, but like I'm scared for when they get into like middle school and high school and like what that's gonna look like.
You know what? I gotta ask Kevin. He actually his kids are about to go to high school. He has to go to high school orientation, and he texted me that yesterday, and I was like, nope, I don't want to talk about that right now. Because I think his kids were like 7 when we met. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But I need to ask him what they're reading because it's like, and whatever it is here, I'm sure is exponentially better than it is in many states because
Oh yeah.
Regardless of what Long Island is, we are in a liberal state, so I'm sure whatever the curriculum is here is probably still more closely aligned to what I grew up with than anywhere else. But I'm so curious because I still have like, you know how they would give you, I don't know about what your schools, but they would give you the book to read and you were supposed to like give it back.
Yes.
I more often than not lost them because I kept the ones that like right, like
Same.
copies of Catcher in the Rye and The Giver that are in my bedroom because they don't look pretty because they're so old, so they don't get to be on these bookshelves, but they're in my bookshelf
Yeah.
in my bedroom. They're my high school copies. They're not new
Oh
ones.
yeah. I don't know if this was like standard, but like in my high schools we had like a section of English class one year where we focused entirely on like Greek mythology and like dissecting the way they wrote. Did you? Oh,
I
I
love
thought you.
Greek mythology.
Okay, I'm like I saw you say it, but there was no sound.
I'm excited, and what I'm trying to do is like not interrupt people as much when I get excited. But like I didn't really. It works when I'm on the phone, but I didn't really factor in the video. So I'm really excited. I still have my college textbook. Anyway, it didn't work. Anyways.
Was it the Edith Hamilton one? The one that's just called mythology? Because that one has been like standard for fucking decades, and I for sure have the copy that I got in my English class. Because I'm like, I love this so much. Like, and so I have that, and I have a copy of the Odyssey. I think that I also stole from high school. But I also was that kid that would like go down to the library on the days that they were like clearing out shit and like replacing stuff and just take home, stacks of books that they were just gonna throw away. And that's how I got a lot of the books that I got about like specific artists and like decades of art and stuff when I was in college. Like
What
I got
when they would let you take the books because they were old?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was one day I walked into school and they just had like 3 carts right in like the common area. And I'm like, I'm not running late for class, so I'm just gonna peruse. And like I think my backpack was like 15 pounds heavier when I went home that day. And I've got like one of the books I got was like Da Vinci, like copies of like Da Vinci's sketchbooks with like annotations and stuff and all of that. Which is one of my favorite references. You know how many hands that motherfucker drew?
Yep.
All the hands. Which honestly makes so much sense because hands are like the hardest thing for people to draw.
You should see me draw hands.
I don't draw hands.
Nobody will ever see anything that I've drawn. Those will always
You get the ball with the little sticks on the end.
Anything I draw will always only be for me. The only drawings anyone's ever put their eyeballs on is when I was in my art classes.
Yeah.
No, it's this one. It's called Classical Myth. I'm not by any means saying that this is like the best book on mythology. This just happens to be. If I ever one day I should pull up my college transcripts and really look at what I did because I forget some of these classes that I took. Like I forgot I just took a class on mythology in college, like because I wanted to, and I just took a class on art therapy because I wanted to. Because I went to school. The last college I graduated from, when I decided I wanted to be in music business, was a college that let you do something called a contract major. So basically, you could make up your major. They would give you like a minimum number of requirements for it to be either a BA or a BS. but then you could just put together the curriculum that you wanted, and I got to name my own degree.
What the
So
fuck?
I took this weird combination of business classes. Like I took economics and organizational development and marketing. And then I took a bunch of like fine arts classes and literature. And so I took like art, and I took like art therapy and like piano and ear training and mythology. And then I took these classes that were like in the middle that were all artist and tour management. So like I took like tour management classes, artist management classes. I took history of rock and roll to help with A&R work. Like is my transcript is fucking insane. Like it looks like if you looked at my transcript, you would probably know I was neurodivergent now. Like at the time, I was just like, oh, I can take whatever I want. Like here's what I want to do, and somehow I pieced together something that has been like super helpful for me in life, but I also enjoyed it. It was weird.
Yeah.
So when I look at the books that I kept, I'm like, oh, I took art therapy. Oh, look, I still have the artist tour. I forget what it's called. It's like the artist tour something. I don't know. It's literally a textbook that's like takes you through tour management A to Z. With
That's
like
cool.
less than, I don't know, it's weird. My major was weird. And then my major is sports and entertainment marketing because I also took some sports marketing classes.
I mean, all that stuff seems like really valuable overall anyway. Like,
You can apply it anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
yes, like the tour and artist management stuff was very specific, but organizational development is literally what I do now. Like part of what I do now.
Yeah.
And like economics, that was weird though, because my teacher, he worked for Ocean Spray too. And so all of his examples, both in class and on exams, were about cranberry bogs. So I also have like a weird amount of knowledge in the back of my brain about cranberry bogs and bog spiders and stuff.
I am fascinated by those. But
they're kind of scary, bogs. Like they
I
freak me out.
think it's so cool.
Yeah, anyway, mythology. I think that's where we were. Because that's what I brought for show and tell today.
I don't know. I think it's really cool that I don't know. I just feel like we had such an opportunity to like be encouraged to like actually read stuff and like learn stuff and like, you know, like I said, make a few extra wrinkles in our brains. And now it's like if I can't process this in the span of like 5 minutes at absolute most, I don't care. And like that makes me so sad. Like I know I have issues with like attention and stuff, but again, that's, you know, probably a little bit of the neurodivergency. But again, like if I want to read something, like I'll still sit down and read a, you know, couple thousand pages in a day and
Sorry.
you know, and then I honestly want to get more into annotating my books. I don't have the fucking time anymore. Like when I read, it's because I got the itch and everybody's in bed and it's like 1 a.m. and next thing I know it's fucking 3 a.m. and I've read half a book and you know, now I'm gonna be exhausted the next day, but I read and I think that
I don't
feels good, but
I don't annotate like I read very little fiction, but I have some, and I don't annotate like I don't know, I'm looking like my biographies and stuff, or like I have like every book Chuck Klosterman has ever written, which is all about like pop culture. But the other books I like will not sit down and read unless I have a highlighter and like little stickies because I use them just like in what I do every day. And this actually, what I was reading last night, the one I'm reading right now it's Rick Rubin's book. It's The Creative Way. I've read it. This is like the 3rd time, but I never sat down with the highlighter because I didn't expect it to be that kind of book initially. And I think the first time it wasn't. And the second time I was like, oh, something's here. And now it's not shocking to me that I decided to pick it up now with what I'm doing with my business because a lot of it is directly relatable to the way I want to market and what I want to do. So now I was like, oh, I need to.
yeah.
So one of the things he actually wrote about in the pages that I read last night was how sometimes people are reading and it's me all the time, and I always judge myself for it. Like, I'll read a paragraph, and then I'm like, 2 pages later, like, fuck, I actually don't know what I've been reading. I need to go back and read those 2 pages.
Yeah.
And he was basically saying that it's because you read it, and your brain. Let me think about how to explain this. So his concepts are based on the fact that creativity is not necessarily like a conscious process, right? Like, it's basically channeling your subconscious into something that you produce, whether it's written, drawing, whatever. And so one of his recommendations for when people are feeling like a creative block is to do a mundane task that doesn't require you to think, like driving or washing the dishes or something. And then ideas come, which I've realized now is why I am constantly texting you guys ideas when I'm in the gym.
Yeah.
They come. So basically, he was applying that concept to reading and saying that, like, at a certain point, if you read something that gets your brain like creating, the rest of the reading becomes that subconscious mindless thing until you integrate whatever the thought or realization was, and then you're like, fuck, and I need to go back to the paragraph that started that because everything I read after that was just background noise.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So it made me, all that to say, like, now I don't feel guilty if I find that I didn't like digest the paragraph that I read, because I'm like, oh, my brain must have been doing something else really cool in the background, and I'm just going to trust that.
No, that actually makes so much sense. And that's actually going to be really helpful. Like as you were saying that, I was like thinking about the other night when I had like because I've had a creative block. Um, and the other night I hit a point where I'm like, I think I was like just kind of tidying up after I took a bath, and I just had this burst that was like, ooh, I have a really cool idea for like a kind of editorial photo series.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm so excited. Like I fully thought it out, and like I have to do some mock-ups still for like the looks, but the idea just fucking hit. And I was literally just like cleaning up my shit, getting ready to go to bed. Like, so that makes so much fucking sense now.
Crazy, because I, for the last like probably 2 years, like every time I'm in the gym, I'm like, I can't just lift. Like my rests are longer than they should be because I'm like texting fingers an idea that I got, or like I texted my friend Bobby that's helping me doing the marketing. He's not helping me. I'm hiring him because he's worth being paid. Just so everybody knows, like I don't ask my friends to do things for free. But like I texted him and I was like, hey, I know we talked like 3 weeks ago and I didn't send you any of the homework yet, but like I just had this idea and here's what it is. And also I decided I want to do this thing and that thing, and we don't have to talk about it right now, but like I'm at the gym and it's in my brain. I need to get it out. And I'm like, oh, that's why that happens.
Yeah.
Because for me, being at the gym is just like, it's muscle memory. Well, that was really a redundant metaphor, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
I almost like need a notebook sometimes when I'm there to put it on paper, but that's why I'm just always texting it to people. But it's really cool. You would like this book, actually. You should read it when you have that. It's an easy read too because he writes in small chunks.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of got an organization to it, but at the same time, it also reads kind of just like idea brain dumps all over the pages. I like it.
What's it called again?
It's called The Creative Way by Rick Rubin.
Okay. I'll have to add that to the list. What the
It's
fuck is
probably
that?
annoyingly pricey though, because it's got like a fat, unless he has a soft cover now.
Oh.
But it's like a hardcover with like, it was like, I think I paid like $30 for it.
Oh.
I bought it at an import too though, so.
I check for everything on like the discount book websites.
Yeah.
So like thrift books, and there's a store here called Half Price Books.
Yeah.
And so I always check those places before I actually like buy anything full price because like I'm poor.
I just forget to. Also, like I need to use my library more. Like we did
Yeah.
a book club, and we like, what we do is we all put ideas in and then vote. And
Yeah.
so we usually do, because it's a lot of people that I work with, so we usually do pretty nerdy books. So at the end of last year, we ended up voting on, I didn't vote for it, but we voted as a group on Shoe Dog because someone wanted to read something different, and I did try to read it, and I fucking hated it, and I really tried so hard. I fucking hate that man, and I hated that book. And actually, all of us ended up feeling the same at the end. But
I don't think I've heard of that one.
you would hate it too. I don't remember his name because I hated him so much I blocked it out. It's the guy that created Nike.
Oh,
So a rich white dude. Um, but
that
I went
tracks.
out and bought it because most of our books, like, we take notes in, and, like, just like from force of habit, because we write workshops around them. And then after I bought it, I was like, why did I buy this fucking book? I know I'm not gonna like it. I don't
Yeah.
want it when I'm done, and I should have gone to the library. I need to be better about that.
I definitely have like a list of books that like maybe not like a list so far. I have a handful of books that I know I'm absolutely not going to like by any means at all, but I want to read them for like the simple fact that like it's one of those books that I feel like I need to read to understand or like be able to, I guess, argue with people a little bit better about why it sucks. Which sounds really backwards and probably kind of stupid to a lot of people, but like um the one really specific example is it's centered around the idea of like how individualistic our society has become despite the fact that we so desperately need community.
Mhm.
So Atlas Shrugged,
Oh,
I know I'm gonna hate it. I like with every fiber of like everybody I've ever mentioned it to is like, don't read that. It's garbage and you're gonna hate it. And I'm like, oh, I fucking know. But I'm gonna read it simply to disprove every motherfucker that defends it. Because I know everything in there is wrong. And I know like all the people that I've talked to about it that like stand behind it are those kind of people that are, are very much like every man for himself and like, you got to think about you before you can, like before the world crumbles. And it's like, no, because the world won't crumble if we come together. But okay. So that one has been on my list for a really long time because I just can't bring myself to get a copy of it yet. But like one day I will read it. And then I'm going to be so much smarter and so much more ruthless when it comes to arguing with these people.
but I mean,
Um,
it's important to collect the information that you don't agree with too, right? Like, that's the part.
yeah,
I was talking to somebody about this. I forget who. Oh, my friend in Rhode Island, about like algorithms and stuff. Like, if you don't ever go outside of what is delivered to you. So the number one reason I haven't deleted Twitter is because I still get both insane sides of the political spectrum. And so,
yeah,
like, I dig in and see, like, where's this coming from? Is there an actual article? What, you know what I mean? Like, I don't just read the tweet either. I keep going to see where it came from. But it's like one of the few algorithms that is not at all curated to me. It's actually
yeah,
shit that I fucking hate. So it's one of the few places I can go get information that is not like, oh, look at this witchy spiritual shit, and oh, look at all these bands you like, and here's your friends. Like, it's a place where I'm still getting content that I'm like, God, I want to forget this is even fucking happening, but here it is, right in front of my fucking face.
yeah. I
It's
think that's something a lot of people forget that. Like, how can you fight against something if you don't know the basis of why it's wrong?
also like,
Like,
this is where you and I are so different, but it's so funny because it works, right? Like, you also, I don't even want to, I don't want to fight against it. I want to have a conversation that is so in depth and where people can tell I'm listening to them, that it's like, I'm not fighting you, but also I don't agree with you. And maybe if I don't fight you, some of you will actually learn how to show up in a conversation in this way and like have a different perspective. And I realize that that's very challenging right now. And we need people that are doing both, right? Like, we also need people like you that are like, I'll just fucking stab you. Like,
I think it's, I mean, it's situational. Like, I can absolutely sit down and have a conversation with someone if I know that conversation is being had in good faith.
yeah.
Like, if you're just antagonizing me and trying to make it seem like you want to have a conversation so you can be an asshole about it, then like, no, I pick up on that really quick. And guess what? We're both about to be, really fucking mean here. But like, I'm more than happy to have like a genuine discussion with anyone. Because I know there's also people that I can go out and fight with when I'm feeling pissed off and like ready to rage and like needing to get that shit out.
Yeah.
Because like every once in a blue moon, there is someone willing to listen and change their mind when presented with facts. It's just really hard to find those people now.
Very, very minimal.
Yeah.
I highlighted another quote from the same book last night. I like to focus a lot on quotes on like people's perspectives on listening and what listening means because it's basically my whole job. And it just very simply was like listening is the suspension of indifference or something like that, or the absence of listening is the absence of. I really don't want to keep running around grabbing things in my house, but I really want to get this right. And if I fuck up one word, it changes.
Guys, chill out, bud.
It's okay, Harley. Every time I get
Wow.
excited, you're so cute, Mama. Every time I get up excited, Harley gets excited. Wait, because it's one of the last things I like. See my little tabs as I'm going through it.
Yeah.
Wait, so it's listening. It's gonna be right here. Listening is suspending disbelief. So basically, it's like a way to listen without judgment is like you have to already decide that at least temporarily, right? Everything the other person is telling you is true because that's their reality. And you have to understand their reality before you can talk about how it differs from yours and like figure out what the reality between the two is, if any. So it was a good one for me.
Yeah.
This is the cover, so you know what you're looking for.
Oh, well, yeah, I think you showed me that one.
It
just got cloudy. What the fuck?
Up in my top 5 for sure. Still sunny here. I think you're getting more snow, right? Or are you not where everybody is that's getting snow? Just kidding. I just remembered. Never mind. Geography. You're further west.
I was gonna say, I think we looked at the map the other day, but
Never mind.
I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to snow anymore today. I fucking hope not, because I genuinely do not want to be driving home.
No.
In fucking snow at whatever 11 o'clock, 11:30 tonight. Not ideal.
No. We really haven't had any snow. I haven't looked at the weather, but usually now we get alerts for like any kind of weather besides a steady rain because we don't get any weather here. It's like hurricane season, we get a couple tropical storms, but like I can't. If I've seen collectively a foot of snow in the last 3 years, I would be shocked.
Oh no, I'm waiting for us to get a lot more snow, because it's gonna hit at like a really inconvenient time. But
oh my god,
I'm watching all the shit that's going on with like the fact that it's so fucking cold and fucked up down in Texas right now while fucking California burns, and it's so fucked up. Also, the fact that there's snow in Texas right now and not here, like
snow in Georgia and not here.
Yeah, no. And everybody like it's like, yes, you guys maybe only have an inch of that, but your infrastructure is also not designed to hold up to that shit. So
Dude,
like here we're we've got the fucking trucks brining the streets and like all that shit, but like they don't have that shit there. They're not built for that.
I opened a restaurant and I'll never remember if it was when I was in South Carolina or Georgia. Less than an inch of snow, and I'm driving back to the hotel from the restaurant, and like people are just sliding into each other. They're parking their cars on the highway and getting out and walking, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And that was the first time I realized that like south of a certain point, like snow is just not a thing, and people don't know what to do because they don't prepare for it. They don't have the equipment for it. Like they don't have salt trucks, or salt trucks weren't out ahead of time if they had them. Like it was wild.
No, it's fucked.
I don't know. It's weird to watch. Then I'm also like, every time I'm cold here, I'm selfishly like pulling up the weather over in Cardiff, and I'm like, oh, it's warmer there than it is here. That's fucked up too. It's all fucked up.
What are you yelling about there, bud?
Mine is just standing in the middle of the living room staring at me. What do you want?
Oh, he's gotten so skinny.
Fast?
No, Gus.
Oh, is he?
I know he's like, you know how pets when they get older and they just they lose a little bit of that weight because they mostly just lay around, and like he still eats like, you know, normal and stuff. He's such a frail old man now.
No, okay. Hi. All right. This is rare. So this is I know. She's like, this is how she is. Like, when she decides she has to give love, it's like immediate and the most
Yeah.
affection you've ever had. And now she just walked away. She's done now.
Yeah.
That'll
Baz
be
has finally reclaimed his bed.
oh,
I wish you could see. He looks so cute right now.
Take a picture with your phone. Are you doing that right now?
Yeah.
Oh, the baby. I see you. Gotta go sit down. She's staring at me like she's gonna do it again. One day I just know
Pitiful.
camera, and I hope it's with you and not with like a client or at work. Because one day I just know she's gonna be on camera and run from the other side of the room and just knock me right off this chair. Like I just know when I'm not looking one day, and I just would prefer that it be while we're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, look how cute he is. Wait, can I hold him up? Let's see. Can you see him? Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a big boy.
He's knocked the fuck out. Dude, no. He's like, size-wise, he's not very big.
Oh,
Like, well, he's fucking solid. Like, he looks, like, size-wise, he looks like he'd maybe be like 45, 50 pounds. A motherfucker is 70 pounds.
Wow.
Just solid beef.
Pounds.
Like,
mine are 45 pounds. Dakota,
yeah.
I think Dakota looks like longer and taller than he is, so people think he's more, but
Yeah. No, he definitely, like, I think Baz is a little, he looks beefier than Dakota does.
oh
But
yeah.
that bitch is solid. And like his head, it's like a cinder block. Like,
Look, it's very big.
yeah.
They're both. I think they were 47 and 48 when I took them in October.
Yeah.
They've never.
Oh, I need to take him for his checkup.
They've always been just below.
Ooh. Yeah, I think he was like 70. I think he was like 70 when we adopted him, and he's definitely beefed up a little bit because he's off the streets and being well loved. Because when we adopted him, they had said they found him just like on the streets. So he's probably beefed up a little bit more. But like when he gets to the zoomies, I have to close the gate, otherwise he will just fucking clothesline the kids. Just fucking.
I'm nervous about these new things on my wall because when Dakota gets the zoomies, it's up over the back of the couch and down.
Oh, yeah.
And you won't see it from here. And I actually think I might have covered one. There's like a little nick in the paint from his nails when they hit the wall one day. I remember with someone, and he like, I saw him behind me. I was like halfway up the wall. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So I'm just waiting for him to knock these off the wall one day with his.
Yeah.
It's so sad. But the new frames are from Amazon, so they're plastics. Like the front is plastic. So
yeah. Well, that's helpful.
I didn't know that, but I actually remember that.
I need to find my tape measure because I still need to order frames for my stuff. I'm sick of looking at them just like sitting in a stack. I also need to figure out how I'm gonna do Freya's. But
I ended up taking the couple magazines that I want to frame, and I was trying to find frames at Beads by myself, and then I got annoyed, and because they're all weird sizes, and I said to the chick at the framing, I was like, I'm so sorry, I'll tell you full out, I'm not going to buy framing from you, but would you help me measure these and figure out what size frames I need? She was like, yeah, that's totally fine. So she measured them, and I bought them, but they're not deep enough for some of them.
Yeah, you need with
I just don't
thicker stuff, yeah. We had to, when I was still there, we definitely framed a few magazines because there was this one guy who like kind of a weird vibe. He's a weird dude. He was in there almost like every week with a new Dita Von Teese piece, whether it was artwork or like a poster or like magazines that she was on the cover of. He had like a couple pictures with her.
Me with Hanson as a child. Sorry.
But no, it was always of her. And so he had a couple magazines. And like we had to reframe them a couple times actually, because like the way that they like they'll send the frames to the store when they get like custom ordered and measured.
Mhm.
and then you have to mount them in there a specific way, and like it's a mess. It's complicated though. Like now that I know all that stuff, it's like I could do it myself, but like if you don't have any of that background knowledge, it makes it so much harder to find frames for shit.
I don't, and I'm so annoyed. And I tried to like force them in, but the one wouldn't close. And then I thought I only had 3 of a certain size, and I forgot I bought a 4th one. And
Yeah,
so I'm like, now I'm annoyed because I only have 3 of these frames, and even if I force them in, I still have to get it. So I sent them all back, and I put everything back in a box, and we'll try this
yeah,
another day because I just got so fucking annoyed. And then one of the 4 is landscape, which it fucks up the whole plan I had for how I was going to lay it out on the wall. And I'm like, you know what? I am ready to set these on fire, so I'm just going to put them away for now.
yeah. Oh fuck! And now I have 3 new pieces to get framed now.
I'm also not looking forward to that wall because like I'm actually gonna have to, use a level and get everything straight. Like this wall, I just walk up and I like hold something up and I'm like, it's gonna be fine there because it's a collage wall.
Yeah,
It doesn't fucking matter what it looks like. I'll just stick things in there. But that wall, I can't show it to you now because there's a pile of pillows on top of the dog's crates and it makes me look like a maniac, messy person. But it's like got my guitar on one side and then I need to plan it out. And I just don't even want to do that. Like
yeah.
measuring and
Oh,
maybe it'll never get done. Maybe it'll just come to the UK with me one day.
oh fuck! Now I'm like taking a tally of like all the things that I need to get framed, and like first of all, I need to figure out how to fix the 3 pieces that I just got before I can frame them. Because fuck you to a certain company for sending the prints folded, despite the fact that they are the same fucking size as the other shit that didn't come folded because it's a folder.
Oh.
So fuck you. I know you know what I'm talking about. I am pissed.
Many people know what you're talking about if they know us.
Pissed.
So sorry.
When I tell you, I unwrapped it, flipped through it very vaguely, and it has been. I put it down. Haven't touched it since. I'm so mad. First of all, the way it was handled, the way that it came, and just overall at these fucking nerds. So I'm so full of rage that I can't even be bothered to like actually read the book yet, or read, because fucking words, can't fucking read it. It's no fucking words. I'm so mad. Like
I'm still confused. I'm so confused about my experience with that because like I remember being like, I don't want to keep this, but I'd like to see it with my eyeballs and touch it with my hands. So I'll buy it and then I'll just sell it back to someone at face value. And then I never got any updates and I couldn't find any evidence that I had purchased this. And it's not on my bank statement. I don't know what happened. And then one day it just showed up. And I was like, oh, well, I guess somehow I did buy this. And then I opened it, but I have a thing about like fingerprints. And so I don't want to touch it because I don't want the fingerprints on the front because that's going to stress me out.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I care because I'm not going to keep it. And so now it's been in the box and I haven't even looked at it.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at a couple pages and I was like, oh, this is really pretty. And then I put it away. And I need to just go through it so that I can then give it to Emily's going to buy it for me so that I can give it to Emily.
Yeah.
Put fingerprints. Like
to be fair, there is.
Look, I usually take the sleeve off because I don't want to put fingerprints on the sleeve.
Oh yeah, I'm for sure gonna rip the sleeve off that because I'm one of those people. I love a good hardback. One of my favorite things about buying a brand new hardback is cracking the spine. I live for that shit.
That gives me anxiety.
But I'm also a heathen, and I like dog ear my pages, and I'll set them like open upside down to like mark the page, so I don't have to like find a book. Like I'm a heathen when it comes to my books because also I'm not buying a book if I'm not gonna love it, and it will show evidence of being loved. I genuinely don't care.
No.
And I also no minor book repair. So if something gets fucked up, I can fix it anyway. I don't care. But that was the only bit of enjoyment I've gotten from that fucking book so far, was opening it up and cracking the spine. That just, oh, that tickles me so deep in my soul.
That gives me so much
I just
anxiety.
pissed off so many people.
That gives me so much anxiety, and because of that, like, I'm a beach reader, but when
Yeah.
I pick what books I'm reading on the beach that summer, like, I have to stare, because whatever it is never going to be the same, right? So
Yeah.
it has to be a book. So like most of my, I'm looking at my bookshelf. Most of my true crime are beach reads. Like my Helter Skelter book is just like, you know,
Yeah.
I read that one a couple times. Or it'll be a hardcover that we're doing for like the book club that I know I'm going to write in or highlight on, because then I don't mind laying it flat on the blanket and maybe getting sand in it. But like there
Yeah.
are some books that I'll be reading and I cannot take them to the beach because they cannot end up in that condition.
Yeah. I
I was
think the only book that I don't treat like that is, this is my turn for show and tell. I'm going to show you this.
yes, do it.
No one is going to expect what book I'm about to grab right now. This is going to be, I love this.
I'm gonna try to think of it, but I don't read
You
fiction.
want to take a guess before I
I
show you?
I literally have no guess, to be honest, because it could be anything in the world. No.
This is my grandmother's dictionary.
Oh my god.
My dead granny's dictionary. Like it's fucking yellow and
That's
probably
cool.
so far out of date with what books are like in there, but it's the encyclopedic version of a dictionary. So it's like, this I grew up being forced to look up words in this thing, so I treasure it so much, and it's like, you can see a little bit right here where like the
Yeah.
cover is like kind of tearing. Right now it has a giant leaf in it because the kids brought me home a giant leaf. So I'm trying not
Wait,
to fuck that up. But
tell me about being forced to look up words in it, because you just made me think of something that I would have never remembered from my childhood right now.
so, well, like I said, everybody in my house was like avid readers and stuff. And I humble brag. I've basically been at a college reading level since I was in like 5th grade. Uh, but because of that, there was a lot of books or like a lot of words that I'd come across that I didn't understand, despite like being able to like read the whole book. And so anytime I was like, hey, how, what does this word mean? Or, like, how do you say it? Whatever. Nobody would tell me. They'd be like, you know where the dictionary's at? So I'd always have to just like look it up and figure it out. Um, or like if I was, writing a paper or something, I'd be like, hey, how do you spell this word? Because, I grew up in the era before autocorrect was a thing and handwriting essays. Uh, so I'd have to look it up, and yeah. So I got really attached to this book, and so this was one of my immediate claims when my grandma passed and everybody was kind of like divvying up all of her stuff to clear out her house and stuff. So I was like, I will fist fight anyone who tries to take this from me. But it's really cool, and like I'm kind of passing that vibe on to the kids because I want them to be able to use their resources and stuff. But it's actually not, I forgot how interesting this was, but like it's got like the metric system conversion. It's got a whole list of like the birth dates and like the birthplaces of everybody that signed the Declaration.
That's cool.
And like what they did, like what their profession was at the time. I actually didn't know that one. Oh, that guy died before independence was a thing. How did he sign the Declaration? Nope, that makes sense. Never mind. That was a stupid question. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no.
But yeah, and it's got like cool pictures, and
Oh, that's so
I don't know.
cool.
It's yeah. So this is one of my favorite books,
Yeah,
and it's so funny because it's a fucking dictionary.
you just unlocked a core memory. because when we were talking about how we were both this. Oh, by the way, this whole episode is about books. Um, so
Yeah.
when you're doing the notes for our summary, just remind me that the entire episode's about books. Hey, hold on a second. No.
Oh shit.
Oh, I think my neighbor got a new dog. She used to have two, and then she had one, but now she's got two little shit.
Oh.
Um, I don't like her. Um,
Holy
so
shit.
I was trying to. What'd you find?
Oh, I was looking. There's so much weird shit in here that I didn't expect. It's Greek and Latin elements,
Oh
the
shit.
world's religions, mythology. I forgot so much. Obviously, I haven't had to look up a word in a while because I forgot about all this stuff.
Well, so I
But
was trying to remember because nobody in my family is a reader. My mom
oh
read
yeah,
to me, and when she realized that I liked reading, she absolutely
yeah.
absolutely encouraged that. And Barnes and Noble was one of my favorite stores from when I was fucking I don't even know how young.
Oh
And
yeah,
my oldest sister was a reader too, which I imagine probably had something to do with me being a reader and her having access to a lot of books. But before that, I was like, why was I a reader? Like, who encouraged me to read? Because my mom, she wouldn't pick up a book now if you paid her.
yeah.
Um, my uncle, who passed away a couple years ago, I just remembered at my grandmother's house had the cool. I have two here, but I'm not going to go dig them out because I've already gotten up and run away two or three times on this episode. But they're the all different kinds of stories, but they're all different kinds of books, but they were bound with the gold pages and whatnot. So
Oh yeah.
he had a ton of books. Just ran like I have two of them. I have the Call of the Wild and I have Shakespeare's tragedies because I've always fucking loved Shakespeare's tragedies. So those are the two that I claimed. But he also had the comedies and whatnot. And he also had a set of encyclopedias. And I just remembered from your story that he would do the same thing to me with the encyclopedias. If I asked him about something, he'd be like, well, you know what, Jen, let's go look. And we'd sit down and look in the encyclopedia at whatever I asked about. And I remembered when I would always ask to read his books, and because they were very nice, he was like, not yet, when you're old enough. And then I remembered one day being old enough where he let me read one of his books, and I was like,
Yeah.
book with the gold pages. And the fabric bookmarks. It's my first fancy book ever. I don't know where they all are, actually. That makes me, I have to ask my other uncle where the rest of them are because I'd love the other two Shakespeare collections.
Yeah.
I can't take all the books, but the fact that I have the tragedies and I don't have the rest.
Actually,
I don't know why I picked the Call of the Wild. It's not I have no idea why as a child I gravitated toward that book. I don't even know. I don't even remember the whole story anymore.
I need to read that one again. It's been a while.
I can't tell you the last
It's also
time.
been a while since I've read Animal Farm. I need to read that one again. I have the complete works of Shakespeare. I also have two copies of the complete works of Poe.
I
Because
would
of
love that.
course
I
I
wonder if
do.
you have that because I would have loved that.
I think one of my copies of that it's it's one of the really nice ones. And that one's in my crystal cabinet with my skulls and all my fragile breakable stuff. And then the other really nice ones that I've got because I've got oh what is it? I have the complete works of what's his fuck Cthulhu dude.
Who?
The fuck is his name?
Who?
Super racist guy that made Cthulhu.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my god, why am I blanking on it? He's oh my god.
I'm looking.
What the fuck is that guy's name? Oh,
Hold on, I'm looking.
oh.
Oh, Lovecraft.
Yeah, oh my god, I can't believe I just forgot that. I have it. What the fuck? After all the conversations regarding that shit, I cannot.
I don't think we've ever talked about H.P. Lovecraft before.
Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, okay, so I have his complete works. In a really nice version. I think the pages are silver.
Mm.
And then I've got the Tales of Norse mythology with and they all have the bookmarks and stuff. I also have Journey to the Center of the Earth, and then I think To Kill a Mockingbird. So all those ones are the super nice ones that come with the the built-in bookmark and all that stuff. And those ones are they're my special ones. They sit on top of my crystal cabinet with away from where the children can reach them because they're not old enough yet. Um, but I also have like the regular ass copies of like the ones that sit on the bookshelf where the kids can get to them and stuff. But right now, Freya is deep in the series of unfortunate events, and I'm loving it so much. I think she's on like the 9th book already.
I remember
And she just started reading them last year. Like that child is blowing through those books.
my oldest sister was that was one of her like one of the first series I remember her like religiously reading and
Yeah.
loving.
She wants to she keeps talking about how badly she wants to be an inventor, like since she started reading them. And at first I thought it was just like a silly little thing, but like she's actually talked about, like I've seen some little doodles in her notebook and stuff, and I'm like, maybe we'll get you in some more of these like kids STEM classes or something, because this seems to be the vibe, and I'm so here for it.
That wouldn't be a bad thing for her to get into.
Oh yeah. Um but no, I'm honestly I'm so proud, and like I know she's not just like pretending to read them. Because we'll, after she finishes one of the books, we'll like actually talk about like what happened, because she has seen the series, but like obviously, the books are different and there's differences, and so when we talk about them, like I know she's actually like processed what she's read, and so like I don't know, it makes me really proud. Raising little baby nerds, I love it.
We need more nerds. We need more nerds.
Fucking absolutely. And yeah, but yeah, I've got to.
I love
really, God, I really want to read now.
I
I'm
know.
just like sitting here looking at my bookshelf, like I have so many books that I want to read.
I hate that I brought this book over here because I want to pick it up and read, but I absolutely have to do like a project for work that has to be done today before I can. So it has to be my little treat for when I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I have to, because otherwise I know I will, at this point, I'll sit and just read the whole book. Like the whole rest of the book again. So that's going to be my reward.
I need to go through and get rid of some stuff, but
I know I have to actually have to email out my list of books so that I can start sending some out. Some of them need new homes, and some of them haven't even been touched, and I really want to read them, but I know I won't for a while, and like they're supposedly good books, like, or at least interesting. Like I have Will Smith's autobiography. Like I've been dying to read that.
that's interesting. Actually, I think I only have one autobiography, which is kind of surprising, and it's Erte.
I have so many autobiographies or biographies, and I have every book I've ever found that's been written as a biography of Kurt Cobain's life. Some of them are absolute fucking trash.
Yeah.
Some of them are great. And I think I have 3 copies of his journals because people kept gifting it to me.
Yeah.
And I can't bring myself to get rid of any of them. Well, I
have a surprising number of poetry books. I have I have Tupac's poetry book.
You do? That's probably a good one.
Oh no, it's fantastic. We have that, and then I've got fucking Bukowski, and
oh, you do? I love that.
It's specifically The Pleasures of the Damned. I actually don't know that I finished that one. I know I started it years ago, but I think I start books and then I like move or something and I forget which book I'm reading, and then I'll go back and I'm like, wait, I have a bookmark in here, so I guess we're just gonna pick up here.
My genres are like there's one chunk that's all music, and it's a combination of like biographies, autobiographies, pretty much all of Chuck Klosterman's books, because pretty much 90% of all of his books are in the music space.
Yeah.
And then anyone that just wrote a book about being in the industry. And then I have a section that is like other memoirs and autobiographies and biographies.
Have you read Sellout?
What?
Have you read Sellout?
What's that?
It's a nonfiction about like, I want to say it's about like more like the punk scene. My friend gave it to me for Christmas a couple years ago, and I haven't quite finished that one either yet. But do you feel like the music nonfiction stuff?
That swept punk, emo, and hardcore. Oh, it's going right in my list right now. No, I do have.
I'm just like looking at a copy of it right now. Like,
I do have. I don't know. My 2 punk books that I'm looking at right now that I can see from here are Everybody Hurts and Nothing Feels Good: Punk Rock Teenagers and Emo.
Sounds about right. Oh,
Nice. Then I have like other memoirs, autobiographies, which generally I gravitate towards people that have like drug addiction or mental illness or like abuse, which
yeah.
is why I bought Will Smith's book because I'm pretty sure that he was emotionally abused in his marriage. Um, and I know he was abused by his father. And then I have a whole serial killer section.
Ooh.
It's
I
just like,
definitely have some true crime. Um, where is that? I'm like,
and
now
I
I'm
have
just
a
like staring at my bookshelf, like trying to decipher what all's over there.
that's literally what
Because
I'm
I feel
doing.
like I keep forgetting that I have so many of these books.
If people
Oh,
are
hey, look,
watching, yeah,
a
we're
book
both
on photography. That couldn't be handy at all. I also love how like my mom, right before I left for my trip, gave me a book that's the Idiot's Guide to London, and I'm like, first of all, if you think I'm gonna go over there and not just wing it everywhere, then you know you're silly. But thanks for the book. Also, confirmation that I definitely needed to be taking this trip this year. So cool.
there you go. I brought
But yeah, it's definitely just sitting on my shelf now.
I brought one back from London. That's Great London Pubs. It's a cute little like coffee table book. Like I need coffee table books. Like I don't have 700 fucking books in my house.
Yeah, I I don't know. I have a couple coffee table books, but I don't know. I have kids, so they don't ever sit on my coffee table. It just
I don't have a coffee
now
table.
now I'm thinking about how I really need to like go through and like actually make a list because like I downloaded an app where you're supposed to be able to like if you scan the barcode on your book, it like pulls up the actual like what edition you have and um like what year it came out and like how many pages it's got and like you can keep track of like whether you've read it already or like whether you need to read it or like and it's supposed to help organize it but I'm like I that's doing too much. I'm just gonna make a Word document and fucking type it out myself because I just need to organize it into like fiction, nonfiction, or like poetry, fantasy, like what I just need it a little bit more organized.
Well,
Because right now it's just by size on what fits on what shelf.
that's what Sam did for me. Well, no, I mean
Yeah.
it is organized that way already. So like as she was doing it, she was like, "Is your library categorized?" I was like, "Yes." So she did each shelf, she figured it out. I was like, I didn't know. I just wanted her to help me put like titles and names, but she put like the category and all this stuff. And so as she was doing it, she was like, "Are your books categorized?" And I was like, "Yeah, they've always been kind of set up like a library." So I know
Yeah.
what section I'm shopping from when I decide what I want to read next. I don't I don't know why that is. I don't know where that tendency comes from. Again, my mom is not like this. Like
Yeah. Oh
I've
no.
always been my closet is like it's my closet is also categorized. So it hangs like my shirts hang from like tank tops out to blazers, like as the sleeve length grows.
Mine's kind of like that, but it's also like there's like sections and then like subsections that it's like broken down. So like my jackets are their own section where I have like zip up or like pullover hoodie or like pullover sweatshirts to and like hoodies, and
Yeah.
then it goes by like how baggy it is if it's like a sweatshirt or something, and then I have like my shirts where it's like the tiniest top or like strap size to like long sleeve shirts, and then like dresses are like by length, like
Yeah.
it
My
it just
dresses
makes sense that way.
well, my dresses are by sleeve length, except that the skirts go in front of the dresses because they don't have sleeves.
Yeah, my skirts are a separate section than my dresses.
They're at the front of my dresses because I don't have a lot of
Yeah.
skirts. I have maybe like 4 or 5 skirts, and so they're in front of the dresses because they don't have sleeves, but the short skirts are in front of the long skirts.
Yeah, it just I
Good.
don't know why it just makes sense that way. What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
Does everyone not do that with their closets?
I don't know. Everything that happens now, like as I get older and I learn more about like the full spectrum of neurodivergence, right? And like
Yeah.
also the concept that like neurodivergence and this is a whole different conversation, so I will be short here, but like because we're already at it. But like the idea that also like there is a medical definition for being neurotypical, but it really doesn't matter because the social definition changes that anyway. Like I'm neurotypical in the Northeast America. I'm not actually. I'm probably not. But if I were, I might not be neurotypical somewhere else. Anyway, The
Yeah.
more that happens, the more that I think about my little quirks, and I'm like, does everybody do this, or is this like a thing about how my brain specifically?
Yeah. I think I've hit that point where it's like I know I'm neurodivergent. I kind of don't care if everybody else does it this way. I'm doing it this way because it's what works for my funky little brain, and you don't like that, you don't have to deal with it because it's not your shit.
No, and like, listen, I don't have any desire to change it. It's more the
Yeah.
curiosity of like, what is somebody else's experience, and then
What
also
was
like,
that?
if I don't know,
I can't see. I just hear noises. I can't see what's happening. It's fine.
and then I'm also like, so if you don't organize your closet like that, like, how do you decide what you're gonna wear? I don't know.
Yeah. How do you find anything?
That's what I mean. So my brain doesn't like more from a curiosity perspective of like, well, when you put your clothes away, do you just put them away anywhere? And then when you want something, how do you find it? Like what?
Right. Well, I guess yeah.
My ex
That
didn't
makes
even
sense.
have like drawers for certain. Like he would just put all his shirts in one drawer, and I'm like, well, what if you need like a sweater or like they're all together? What do you mean they're all? You don't
Oh,
have a
I'm gonna send.
t-shirt drawer and like a
I'm gonna.
sweater? What?
I'm gonna send you a picture. I actually have those like hanging racks with like the shelves in that you can like put on the rack in your closet.
Yeah,
That's where I keep all my sweaters. I like roll them up.
my sweaters are
Um,
in my closet on a shelf too. Threw that in a drawer.
yeah.
Threw my closet
But
on a shelf.
I'm gonna send you a picture of like my drawers and my dresser because like the way that I have like my shirts specifically organized, it's honestly super convenient. Because I don't stack stuff in a pile because I'll forget. I like only wear like the top two things. Everything's on its side. Um, I'll send you a picture so you know what I'm talking about. But it's I think I actually learned about it from that fucking what is it, Marie Kondo.
So I
That's
was
like
gonna
the
say when you
the
said
only thing that I picked up from that show was how to organize my dresser drawer.
I need that though. Like maybe you need to send this to me because like I can't. I still have to go through my other ones. Like I've only
Yeah,
donated from my sweaters in my closet. Like my t-shirt drawer. I know there's a t-shirt at the bottom of my t-shirt drawer from 1993 because
yeah,
it says "School number 3 is the place to be." 1993. It was my fucking grammar school t-shirt. It's teal. It has a B on it. I know it's at the bottom of my drawer. I don't know why. What do I need that shirt for?
yeah. No, no.
I know.
I'm gonna. I'll show you. Yeah. I'll send you a little thing after we get off here. But thanks for listening to us yap about book. I feel like this was actually a really productive conversation about books this week, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And also, to top things off, stop using Chat GPT to summarize your books. Read the fucking book.
I love this. A focused episode for anybody that's been missing them. Maybe we'll do it again next time.
Yeah. All right. Love you. Bye.